Okay, it's 5 a.m. and here's the evidence. And what's so crazy too is how it will start making me feel like, oh my God, I'm running late. I'm running late. It's so weird how we like put ourselves on schedules. And after I had started talking about that, I had seen something. This always happens. I had seen something come up and it was some kind of a study or something. I don't remember what it was. To me, it was confirmation. But that we just naturally put ourselves into uh, schedules and into like a sync, we just do it all on its own, like how I kept saying, oh my God, I can't believe it's so weird. But then we do that just naturally. And hopefully, I mean, I feel so fucking out of it. Yesterday and last night has been such a struggle. Like, I don't know how everybody is doing it. Like, and then this morning, when I was thinking about that, then I got back this message. Everybody's going through the different things at this different time. But fuck, dude, like, this is fucking crazy. It's so fucking intense. And luckily I have projects to do. But a lot of time when I'm doing projects too, it's just so fucking much chatter. There's so fucking much, uh, it's like dark energy or something. It's like dark energy attacks or something. It's just like, uh, it's negative shit. And it's just like, oh my God. And then, yesterday I started the tile job in the bathroom. Motherfucking shit. Oh my God. Cleaning tiles is a bitch ass. Like, Jesus Christ. Especially if you haven't cleaned it ever. That's a problem. But I thought that they were all going to get ripped out. And I didn't, to be honest, I've never been one to be a very, very big on that kind of cleaning. As a matter of fact, when I was a mom of kids, I told them they had to clean their own bathroom. I was like, I don't like to do this stuff. And I don't like to, I'm not like, if you come in, this was what was always so funny to me. Like, this used to crack me up because I had this big drive to be honest too, but I would always have people come into my house and they would always be like, oh my God, your house is so clean. Your house is always so clean. You're so clean. And I would always be like, what the believe you me, my house is not clean. I know some women who clean their houses, and yeah, I pick up stuff. My house is like litter free. Like, my house is picked up, and people would just always be like, "Oh my God, it's so." But I can't have all of like the kids throw their stuff there. That's over there. I can't handle that. It's to me as a attention deficit, neurodivergent, like all those little things, all the things that make me feel scattered is like if there's a lot of stuff, my mind is like, no, 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 no. Oh, get that. No, 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 no. Where's that go? Oh, no, 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 no. And that's what my brain is doing the whole motherfucking time. Just scanning the room, what I need to do. And so it's like, I can't handle that. I gotta have the room clear. Let's clear the room, please. And so, and just, I am not even shitting you. Everybody would always come in my house and be like, "Oh my God, your house is so clean. God, you're so clean." And it would start being like that to me. And I was like, "Oh, you won't find clean floors, clean tubs, clean toilets." It's like, I'm not that clean. And like I'll clean the toilet, like I'm gonna have company or something. I'll go clean the bathroom, but it's not like one of my daughters ended up being one of those people. It was like every Sunday's cleaning day. But it's funny because the person I was married to, raised the kids with the longest, number two, he he was very cleanly. He was like, and he would fucking run like, everybody get up. It's Saturday morning, 7:30. Like, get up in the morning and clean the house. Because that is something that the kids have talked about since. And that my older two daughters, that they were little kids. I think one was 5 and one was 7 when I married him. And so his kids, they had always had that was always their experience. But my kids, like, I'm definitely was not like that. Like he had things like he wanted me to police their shoes. It's like, well, if they wear sandals in the snow, they'll figure it out. I think they need to figure this shit out. Like, don't you? I don't think it's a good idea to run around policing. Oh, you better, you got to give them some room to fucking make some mistakes. How are they going to learn? They can't, you can't be there all the time, like guiding them through life. That is so trippy because that is so much. Oh my God, it's so weird when you think about some of this stuff and you just like epiphany, epiphany, epiphany. Oh, I see that different now. I see that different now. It's like, wow, that's so weird. But yeah, you got to give kids room to think for themselves, to think for themselves, to do something, and you have consequences so that they start putting it in motion. They can't depend on you, and you can't become an extension to them. And I've seen this. It's not just, father, daughter, mother, son. There's siblings. There's fucking lot of kids that grow up and feel their parents are so helpless they have to take care of their parents. Like there's people who are very much attached to everything that their parents are doing, Like people find these anchors in life. Yeah, because it does. It totally gives you, oh, fuck, yes. Okay, because it totally gives you a space to contain yourself, to observe yourself, to understand yourself. So there's nothing, always in all the weird things, no matter how many weird motherfucking things we can come up with, how many weird things that we do in life, believe you me, none of them are wrong. Like you're supposed to. You're supposed to be figuring it out. Just like, you're supposed to let your kids walk out in sandals in the snow if that's what they choose. If that's the footwear that they think is the appropriate thing, let them experience it. Like, what the fuck? And I don't have time to run around like, I don't think that way. Like, I'm too busy scanning the room, what I need to do. And like, I don't have time to be like, going in and trying to, I don't know. It's like, do someone's thinking for them. This is something I do all the time. Like when we're out walking and I'm constantly telling Max, I can't do all the thinking. You have to do some of the thinking for yourself. Because so when we'll go walking, because now Archie basically, he doesn't ever go, but he doesn't like to go anyways. He just sits there. Every time they stop to sniff things and eat grass, he pulls as hard as he can to try and pull out his thing and just sits there like he's so mad. And he's Mr. Attitude, the little Archie. He's attitude and small as body. But his body's getting bigger though. But I don't know, maybe he's gonna grow bigger. I don't know. But he's still really small. It's so funny because today I was over there doing the fire and they both ran over and they sat down and they were looking up at me and I felt like a giant. I felt like, oh, they're so tiny down there. It was so weird because how often, well, I have this weird perception things that happen. But okay, so the people, because it was linked into something that I was thinking about this morning about how I was, oh, okay, because it does work as kind of a distraction. It kind of works as it's very much a parameter of an identity to care for someone else. It gives some people the feeling of importance, the feeling of value. So, and those aren't bad things to want, but we just have, okay, we'll call it toxic behaviors at this time in human history because of a lot of other influences. But the thing is that we want to do is change it, but because it's not working. It's because we all have fucked up relationships. We all go through life, just doing patterns of behavior. And so it's up to us to make these changes. And this, it's living more in intention. It's more with you seeing what you want and going towards it. So it's living in intention. And it's living in a mastery that you are not controlled by your emotions and impulses. So this is a transition. So when I'm talking about it, I'm not trying to shame who we were, what we were, or any of that stuff, because that was all right. It was all the way it was supposed to be. It wasn't like we were wrong and now we're going right. But on the whole huge human history, the whole huge giant ring of life thing, there's a segment of this, and it was it's not the only time that there's been a lot of warring, because there's been a lot of warring and stuff, but there's definite things in this time that was specific to this time, but it also has certain things that have played out again and again and again, because there has been other times like Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, I don't know all these old stories and stuff, but I can see there's been other times of gluttony, of perversion, of indulgence. And so those are different periods of time. And so it's not like, but just as we look back at history, just like as we look back at that, and we see, sometimes I think, if you feel super cringe about something that you look back on in time, it might be because you have some connection there, something that you are carrying from there. Because basically, when you look back at time through history, you should feel no judgment. You should just be looking at it as, oh, in that time they were doing this, and that time they were doing that. And because that's what we are leaving is this time, and we were a part of this piece of the pie. But what's cool is because we are getting to take a leap into the next phase, because we were able to step back and see like what's happening here. And, this is a moment in time of history of the whole species, and what the experience of man, the evolution of man. So it's not just our own, it's the whole species that is moving through this this larger scale, because remember, everything's micro macro. We are the smaller of the larger. It's like I said, it's weird because what goes up must come down. What the pyramid, oh man, how do you say that? Because it's what I was talking about the other day. It is like the beginning is the ending and the ending is the beginning. So it is it's man, I can see the what is up, and that thing where the pyramid is this way and that way, because it is, oh, and that's also the shape of a timer. I don't know how that links in, but that's trippy, because it is. Okay, so it's like an understanding. It's like a beginning. It's like an understanding of time. Something, if it's time, how time was created around it or something, by using this balance, counterbalance or something, because that is what it is. Like the universal law, everything is like, it's not vague. It's a for sure. It's like what I said. It's like, if you do this, this happens. It's like it's like what goes out comes back to you. What goes wherever, it's going to come back to you. Wherever you put it out, it's going to come back to you. And that's just the universal law. It's just the way it works. It's not like it does it on purpose. It's just the way the energy works. And so okay, so how was I seeing that? I keep seeing the pyramid like that, and that thing where they always show what's above is so below. So how does that go together? Because it's like it's all the same thing, but it is like a reflection of itself. But that is what we are in right now, is this split. It's like the card is opening, because we're like in these two different realities. And it's so weird, man. It's so weird. This is so, but it's so weird because it still is in this one, because there's so fucking much dark energy around. It's so intense, and it's in whatever with the poisoning, and it still is going on because there's a whole thing, there's a whole big giant thing of the the pneumonia thing. Some of these words, I just is like, they just look for things of, because they don't want you to talk about certain things when it's going on. So, and there's a couple things I'm going to talk about that are going on that they don't want you to talk about. So I'm going to talk a little bit on a code. So that, so there is a big thing going around with pneumonia. And what I have noticed too is this coughing. And it's such a deep, deep cough, but it's so mucusy. It's so, like, if you are not getting stuff rattling around in your chest, because how I don't know if I explained it all the way, like in your lungs, in the different lobes, there's these little feelers. It's like a fibery kind of stuff, and it catches on to all of the infiltrates and shit. Well, when they're flooding you with infiltrates, it's too much. There's too much. There's not enough hands to hold it all. So you become overrun with all that stuff in you. And so, and it will become, and whatever they're doing, it's all on purpose. And it's the stagnation, which, you know what's weird, when I just said about the fucking cyclone yesterday, guess what's hitting over here today? Cyclone. And it was snowing this morning when I looked out. It hasn't stuck yet, but, and I'm going to try and head over to the food bank this morning, because today should be the day they give away the Thanksgiving thing. And I was all jacked up. I was like, oh man, that turkey's going to feed the dogs for so long. And then, and I was like, oh fuck, how am I going to cook a goddamn turkey? Then I'm thinking about all the time when I'm saying, goddamn Christ almighty, and all that kind of stuff, and getting in trouble for it, and thinking about how strange religion is. This says that you can't use God's name in vain. Like, that would be so offensive. Like, whatever. That is just absurd. I would get in fights with my mom. My mom would be really upset, because I'm always like, Jesus Christ almighty, are you fucking I say goddamn, I say all of those things all the time. And so anyways, that's just something just has been on my mind. Okay, so cyclones hitting, snow, there's some other thing going in like the West Coast is getting hit. Over there in this is some bullshit. So let me think before, because it seemed like there was something else I wanted to say. Maybe this will just come back to me whenever I start skipping around. So the so over there where, they're under attack, the mountain people, so now, okay, there's a group of people, and they're called SAR. And they're, that stands for search, and then it has in the middle and you know what I mean? And then at the end of the word thing is the risk. So when you say that, is those people are out there, and they've been out there working. They have gone to all these kinds of things, and all these big disasters and stuff, and they go in and do exactly what they're called. And so it's a big group. Well, and it's so crazy because, this is the kind of stuff that would have been on the news before, But all this is to show us, but it's just trippy because some people don't see at all. And then those of us who do see it, it's like draining, man. It's just so draining. And I feel so tense. It's really given me a lot of observation into my own, what is that? Fuse. When the dogs, and they keep pulling on me, like, it's so crazy. They want to eat like every 2 hours. It is the weirdest thing. And Stella's being super demanding, like, oh, well, now you need to do this, now you need to do that. And it's like, this is so weird. What in the hell? And so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure all the dogs and animals are feeling it and stuff. It's intense. And I don't know if it's making them more hungry. I don't know. Maybe his time is way more stretched out or something. Oh, it was time when I was talking about with those things, because it was something with, I'd have to go back from that still, because there was those, and then go back, and it was time, but there was still something. I was up here that led me to that, so I still haven't seen this part. But okay, so on this other thing though, So, so what's going on? This is such fucking bullshit, man. I swear to God. This shit gets me so fucking pissed. And this is like, this to me is where it's like in my roots. Like I feel like like in this reincarnation cycle, so whatever, the different lives that I've come to experience, this, in which so many I'm having different things that I'm wrapping up here, but they, a whole bunch of different lives. It's not just one, but there's, but I feel like my motivation or something, my reason for being here is to break this shit out, to tear this shit down. And I feel like I've been trying my whole fucking life and haven't been getting anywhere, and I didn't realize it was because everybody was under this mind control, and now everybody's waking up, and now it's like we're going to start getting somewhere. And then but that feeling like, it's like I'm coming back to fight these same people, fight this system that was, came in and took the land from the tribes. And whatever, I was experienced that, or it's programmed into me, whatever it is, because I can fucking see it, I can feel it, and I have a lot of links to guidance that are from whatever you want, Indians, whatever you want to call. And which there was a movie that I had watched. There was a couple movies that had come on. One of them, it was just weird because it was like, oh yeah, because it was like they were on an Indian. It was this arguing. So it was like in the 70s or something. It was this fight between these two tribes. And one tribe, sheriff guy, he was against the other one because the other one wanted to go more with the, what do they call them? The the Anglo-Saxon people. So they didn't call them white people. They called them Anglo people. And so he wanted to just, go along with the thing. And the other side, because everything divides. And the one side, they wanted their rights and didn't want their rights being taken. And the rights have all been taken so aggressively, man. It's so, but there was so much of, like, saying Indian, and it was really derogatory. It was so derogatory. So I really don't want to say that. The way they said it and the way that they kept on being like, you couldn't trust those Indians. It was just, oh my God, when you watch some of these old movies, man, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man. And because there was another one I was watching too, and there was a couple, there was so many that are just like linked into things that are going on right now. There was another one, and it was something with I think it was something with the business and the land and the railroad or something. Like, but there was another one that was coming in really strong. But the railroad, that movie with the railroad, like, let's just put these two things together. So that movie over there that I was watching, that was the railroad, was they were going to take the land they can just take it. So, so in the reality movie, in the one that's real time movie, let's call that, over there for the mountain people. So the SNR people were over there doing their business, and they had a huge area that they had gone in for, I don't know, it was a while, and went in there, and they had retrieved tons and tons of bodies and tagged them all and numbered them and had it all set up, and they were coming back the next morning to start, I don't know how they all do it, log it in, and or how they do it, but so it was all, everything was tagged, so they had all those little things set out everywhere, and there was tons and tons and tons and tons. And so the next morning they returned, and the whole place was gone. Everything was gone. It was all bulldozed, the whole entire thing, because miraculously overnight the railroad company bought all that land, and then just bulldozed it. The fucking motherfucking shenanigans, and the people, like, the people who are involved, there's people driving those motherfucking things, Like, what the fuck? How important is $1 to you? Yeah, that's where I say, like, these people who sell their souls for a fucking dollar, it's not just fucking movie stars. And then they, they get a place where people are desperate. So they probably go to, like, the poorest guys, they're the most desperate, or ones that they know will fucking do anything for a dollar. And then they get them and go do this shit. It's fucking, it's inhumane, man. It's so disgusting what they're doing. And then they're not giving him any media attention or anything. So, no, but I keep on saying that this is also the universe is pushing them out of this place. It's pushing them away. And they have to, but if it's their battle to stay and fight, because we all are here. I just feel like every single person here has had battles with these same people in different lives, and that we are here to wrap some shit up. We are here to, however it is, no matter what level, because everything, you have to have all things, or there's gaps. And so all things have to happen. So no matter how far reaching you feel that you are being, even if you think like, I'm sure that there's, a man out there who is like, well, I'm just here taking care of my mom and I don't really talk to anybody or anything. But don't forget your energy, just your awareness of things, just your feeling about things puts the energy out there. And so it's, your energy is more reaching than sometimes your voice can be. And the more you build your energy up too. Oh, and this was a good news thing that I heard. This was a woman who, she said her friend was in the hospital, and while her friend was in there, she said that her friend was saying like, what is all the noise all night? Because the floor above her, there was noise. And she said, are they doing construction up there? And the nurse said, yeah, they are. And she said, oh, what are they doing? Are they putting in med beds? And the nurse was like, how'd you know that? And I think she just said, oh, I just was wondering, I heard, or something like that. And the nurse said that, yeah, that's what they're doing. And they're expected to be starting to be available in April. So anyways, that's, another, but I've heard these things before, I swear to God. April 2021, or on the edge of our seas waiting for them then. It's been a long wait for some of this stuff to come. But anyways, yeah, I would say they would be turning the hospitals into something else. Maybe that is what they're going to do, is those will become the healing centers. Oh, that would make more sense too, because it would be more comfortable to people probably. They'd take it more like, oh, this is serious. This can really save me. Because they've got people so convinced that that's all like, no, that's not real. And it's like, no, this is real. And what they're doing to you isn't real. But they get you to submit to it, to put so you do it to yourself. Like the aging thing, it just trips me out all the time when I think about it. And how many people are aging, how many people, even when I try and tell them that they are completely resistant to it, they think, it's just ridiculous. And, but and how many young people don't take care of themselves. I mean, they are in this mindset that the world's ending, nothing matters, and everybody just lives like, nothing matters. The world's ending, everything sucks. And, but yeah, that is the part when the things turn, that's the part of themselves that they'll see. Because what I have found is, it's not like you're doing it wrong. It's not like, oh, you're low vibration, you're this or that. It's not like you're doing whatever you're doing is wrong. But when you spend a lot of time on worry and stuff like that, that when the time comes, then you look back at that and you think, man, what a waste. I kept worrying and worrying and worrying. Why was I so worried? Why did I keep worrying? And there's usually always just things, but I definitely found that that is like what I'm working on, is to try and not, to try and when things are ahead and you still got to get there, it's how you fill that space. Do you fill it with worry? Do you fill it with stress? Do you fill it with joy? Do you fill it with, because one thing too is every moment in time is a temporary moment. It's a fleeting moment. It passes you by. And if you are distracted by worrying about what's going to happen next week, then you're wasting about what's happening right now. And so those, but I naturally am always doing that. So it's something that I have to stop myself and to be able to go like, no, you got to be present, got to be in the here and now. Everything is going to work out the way it's going to work out. It's going to work out. You know, there's nothing that you need to be focused on. And it's kind of weird how it has drawn our focus so much into the future. And I think it is been done on purpose to keep us, yeah, I don't know. It could be for a lot of things, because it does go good with aging too. There's a lot of things, because then there's a lot of just, you know, depression, or how you're going to get there, or nothing's going to ever happen good. So you kind of hold yourself back. So, whatever, it is, whatever I was talking about. What the fuck was I talking about? So the, oh man, I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh, but I did want to say this one thing too. This is the cutest dog. It is like an Irish setter, and it's got an amputation. His name is Dexter, and I see his videos all the time. But he's decided to go bipedal. He just walks around on two legs, and he walks really, he's so gentlemanly looking, and he has this one arm that kind of just goes around, and he just walks around. It is really just the cutest thing. He's such a character. I just think that's so adorable. And there's so many things going on with the dog thing. Oh, what was it? It was something yesterday. Even after I had said that, it was like, oh my gosh. It's like it's just getting, and now you have people who are really getting upset because now I guess people are giving away their dogs so they can get Christmas puppies. It's like, what in the consumption world is, you have no connection to your dog? Is it just an accessory, like a purse? Like, people really gotta get their shit together. Like, what, if you think that pets are purses and accessories, no. They are responsibility. They're like having kids. I can't believe how much it's like having kids. And it's like having young kids, you know, because they're right there. They're right there with you all the time. They like to do little naughty things. They like a lot of attention. They like to play. And I don't know. It's just weird. And how overrun the shelters are. Oh yeah, it was this one guy I saw yesterday, and he has been in rescue for like 7 years, and this is something I had been talking about. And then I always get this stuff. And so what he said was things that he's leaving rescue. And he said what he has found is that there's so many people that try and fill their own needs to be a good person, that they're out rescuing and stuff, but they all have like serious issues. And they are gossipy, and there's drama and a lot of competitive, like all that toxic stuff. But that is what I had just been talking about. And then plus I said something about that months ago. But I was just talking about yesterday about the, if you're trying to make yourself into a good person or something by being, because the two different things, like the positive, if you want to call it positive, and the negative. So the positive, they are the ones, the givers. They think that, you know, they've got to save the world, but it really is a lot of ego, because they really build themselves up into ego. And then they also, a lot of resentment builds up, a lot of yeah, it was like an isolation. Oh, that's another thing too. He said a lot of isolation, a lot of these people who are involved They don't want anything to do with other humans. They just want to deal with animals, which he said, that's fine, if that's what your healing has to do with, which, yeah, that's good. But, if you're really taking care of them, I guess, it's so crazy how you start having so many things pop into your mind. Because then all this stuff about mine and my dogs and stuff, and then but it wasn't like I was trying to fill my loneliness. I was honestly trying to fill Stella's loneliness, and wanted her to have somebody, because she had never been so alone. And so anyways, then fostering, but there was such a need. There's such a need out there. There's such an animal crisis. And then for there to keep being, but I just am more of a, fall in love with them when they're here. So it's not like I'm trying to, but I can see how it does start eating at you like that. Like you see all these ones, you see all these cute dogs, and it starts being like, oh my God, I want to save them. I want to save them. I want to save them. And you can't, but there's some people who are just like, that drive to save them is more than, to me, it's like, bug, no way, I couldn't, like, I want to, I wish that I could save the world, but, I can't, I have limitations, I can't do it all, and I'm already to my limit, like, and I love all of them, but I definitely, when they want to eat every couple hours, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm just, and the sleeping thing, I'm just fucking worn out. It's just like, no, I'm at my limit, even though I wish I could do more to help. But it's like, but you have the takers that just keep taking and taking and taking. And if they really are going and just dumping their dogs, and then, because there's been enough of that with all the people going homeless, all the people going broke and all that shit. There was huge dumping. But if you're motherfucking gonna go and dump them and go get a goddamn puppy, that is so fucking, I don't even know what to call it. It is so like, I don't know. People gotta wake up and connect to something different in this world. I don't know what drives people like that. If they just, got to get the latest, greatest, cutest, latest edition or something. It's like these, and then there's so many of these animals, and so many people who go and rescue them, who are just regular people, just go and rescue them, not people who are feeding into their needs through that engagement. Instead, they're just go and adopt a dog or whatever. I just saw a video girl who, she said she adopted the saddest dog at the place. It was the dog that was the most scared, most sad. So she adopted it, and it, just wanted to cuddle all the time. And it was sad and scared for a long time. But of course, and after a while, it started having fun and getting to live and having adventures and stuff. And then she just wrote Love Heals. And, because that is true. When you put in that relationship and you give that, you will get the best friend. But you also have to have a compatibility, like, me and a husky, no. Me and a Labrador, no. With dogs that like to go out and are, Stella is more of my thing, because I like to chill. Like, if I want to paint, or if I don't read it now, because I haven't read in a long time now. About my eyes could do it better, but still, there's something with since my brain injury, it's something with how my eyes move. Like when I'm reading, I don't know, there's something weird, and it doesn't work right. Something's off. And like I would find that I'd have to read the same page trying to be like, who is this again? Who is it? Like it's not fun. And then audiobooks, my mind wanders. Because I've tried that. I even bought into that audiobook thing, but my mind wanders. And that is like what my problem was in school when the teachers start talking. I just can't stay there. Like it just is like, I'm gone. Okay, so let me think. The dogs, the people not thinking about other things and how other things feel, only thinking about themselves. And that is also the energy that's leaving. That's in that Sumerian tablets. No, it wasn't the Sumerian tablets. It was a book that somebody wrote, and I don't know if it's somebody that translated the tablet. I don't even know, because I heard about this a long while ago, maybe 2018 or 2019 or something. This book, that, and maybe if you get into the stuff like the Book of One, maybe it's kind of in with those kinds of stuff. But but I swear to God, it was something about the Sumerian tablets, and it said that the harvest, the solar flash thing, when this thing happens and the energy separates, that it was two different energies. It was the ones in service to man, not in service to self. The ones that are in service to self, those ones are going. And so, and if they prioritize like Gucci and other things over human life and over any life, over life, and then they are going. That's why I said there's going to be changes over a lot of stuff. Like even clothes, because the leather, the plastics, but the food, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be changing. And maybe it's because like we could print out a 3D printer leather purse that would be the same kind of quality and not be like artificial plastic with a coating on it, but actually print something out that was more like that. Maybe that's what, because there's going to be a lot of just like technology and stuff, but there's going to be a big jump in things. When they say a quantum shift, it's like all these different ways that we are accustomed to living are going to switch. And if you're real attached to those ways, then it would be uncomfortable. So, and there still is so many people, man, it is wacky how the blue people are just like, oh my God. And they're like, I've seen men too scheming, like, and, like if we could get Kamala and like they have all these schemes and they're desperate to get rid of Donald. And it's like, man, you guys don't, it's like the poorest kids in town and they're scared of Santa or something. No, I don't want Santa to come to our house. Fuck that guy. Let's board it up. It's like, that's what these people are seeming like to me. It's like the guy who's bringing the gifts and you guys are fucking scared shitless. It's like, dang, you guys don't even have any idea what's in his Christmas or in his Christmas bag. They have no idea what's coming. And they're so, but that's going to be the part where they all of a sudden see how lost in their reality, how somebody else was controlling their mind. So that's the part that they have to wake up to. And it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be so dramatic because they're so deep. But I don't even know if it's going to be, because some of them are so deep in it, they're going to keep going to try and convince themselves, because they're not going to trust it, because they're very sure that their reality is the right reality. They're positive. This is a definite split into realities, which is trippy because in that one cycle thing, I can't remember what it's called, if it's the Kalanuga or something. I think it's like an Indian, like East Indian kind of cycle thing, like in Hindu or something. But it has these cycles. But in this one part that I'd seen, it was like these two energies merged and then they separate. And so it's like so we're in this separation. So, and that goes like with the cycles kind of with how things go. And so it's like the merges in and then it's going to merge apart. And so to me, that seems like it's merged apart. And that is like the splitting in two realities, but there still is like this solar flash. But the whole time, I've always, ever since the solar flash, when I very first started hearing about it, I was like panicked. That's when I was going crazy, telling everybody in my family, and everybody thought, okay, Kelly's really lost. I was telling every fucking buddy. And I was telling everybody the aliens were coming, we were having the solar flash, everything was going to change and all this stuff. I don't even remember what I was saying. I was seeing a lot of stuff. I mean, things were wild. I was seeing the outdoors, like now it's so weird looking outside to me. But I was already seeing it as three-dimensional and I felt like I was like a little thing walking around in a book or something. And I was trying to tell people that's why I was going on YouTube, trying to find things. And the only person I really found was like that Aaron. He's still around talking. His hair is longer now. Aaron something. Keep hearing Aaron Rodgers. I know that's the football guy, but I'm sure this guy's name is Aaron. But he has a lot of followers. He's been out there a long time because he was talking about his awakening on his videos when I very first started watching him. He was talking about what happened to him when he woke up, and he started saying things to people, and everybody thought he was crazy. So there was him. There was a few people. Oh, there was another lady who I was seeing. I think her name is Gaia Rain. I think. Was that her name? No, that's I can't think of her name. Something Rain or something. Glacier Rain? Something like that. Anyways, but she lived out here. And so when I very first moved over here, I had said, you know, do you want to meet up or something? Because I had talked to her in comments or something. But she put it off. And so you know, when you're on the other side, then it's like, well, to me it's like, oh well, just go with the flow, whatever. But I could see how that would hurt somebody's feelings of being like, well, you know, she didn't want to see me. That's why I was like willing to see some people. And then it was like, man, but some of these people, like that one girl, she started doing all that crazy shit. I'm like, bug. But Glacier Rain, that's what it is. And so she, so we didn't ever meet up or anything. And, you know, I didn't, once I started my own channel too, I didn't never go and watch her. I don't know when I stopped watching hers. But there was people who I was watching back then. But the thing is she popped up on my thing yesterday and it tripped me out. I had to go in and look at all of her videos and see what happened because, her hair is like about this long and totally white hair. I think she's like 5 or 10 years younger than me, maybe 15 years younger than me. Total white. And so I was like, what? So I was going back and looking, and because when I was watching her, she had kind of, I don't know, it was like kind of funky hair, like if it had dreads or something. I don't remember. It was some kind of thing. And she looks so much like Gyllenhaal, the sister, the girl Gyllenhaal. And so it always tripped me out how much she looked like this girl. But her hair was something kind of funky. But then it had grown some, and I think it was down, but her hair was real dark, super dark. And so when I went back to look at the videos, so the darkness, I guess, was color. And so eventually she started letting it grow, and all her whole roots were white, every single bit. So once it got to be this length, I guess she cut all the darkness off. And it just trips me out how many of these spiritual people I see that, you know, like, I don't know, because it's like, are you listening to your guide? I don't know, maybe that's not part of your guidance to be healthy. Like, I don't know, because to me, it's about this mind, body, spirit, and my guides were the ones guiding me towards the magnesium, towards the vitamin D, they bring me the information. I just follow the signs. So when they bring me information, I pay attention to it. And so it just trips me out when I see these other people, especially they've been doing it even longer than me. And then all white hair and so young. And then it also shows like how much they're draining the minerals out of people. But it's like everybody's got to, like, I don't know. I just feel like our guides are telling us this stuff. Because I know it's not just me. Like, so I just think people aren't hearing it. They're distracted or something. But it trips me out when I see other spiritual people that, I don't know. I don't want to be mean or something. I have like a lack of connection into the conversation or something, or their guides or something. I'm just not sure why it is. Why there isn't, like, in that spiritual movement, why there isn't just this big surge from the mind, body, spirit community of health. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's happening, but they're all being censored. Maybe that's a big wave that's going to come in that we'll see that there is a lot of people that are. So I don't know. But that really tripped me out. I couldn't believe it. It was so drastic from one to the next. But back then, yeah, there wasn't that many people to listen to. And yeah, but there was, and that's when I listened to Allison Coe too. I really liked her stuff because I'm really into the QHHTs and stuff like that. And so there was a whole thing about the solar flash. So in the book of Raw, the book of one, the raw teachings or whatever, the raw communication, then that's weird too, raw. And then I just watched a mummy movie. It was raw. It was like some of these people like we're talking to are probably just ancestors. It's they're just trying to guide us or help us. It's not like we're getting like the magic of the world. But anyways, so so Raw, he says that there's going to be this solar flash thing, and that there's going to be the splitting of the energy, the Sumerian tablets they talked about, Edgar Casey's talked about it. Like, there's all these different people have talked about it. And so back when I had heard that it was going to be happening, it like freaked me out. And I was like, oh my God. Because I'm looking around and I was like, fuck, nobody, you just, you know what it's like now. Just imagine what it was like in 2016, 2017. Man, it was like, oh yeah, it was fuck. Nobody was awake. Nobody was awake. One person I talked to on Facebook, and she was only awake on the stuff in the skies, because she was the one asking me about that woke me up to that. But yeah, there was nobody. Even when I tried saying anything, there was nobody. And but then I found that group. But I joined the cult, and I found that group, and went and hung out, did meditations with them. So then all was fine. I was like another group of people that were like watching the aliens in the sky. It was like, okay, thank God, I'm not alone here. And so the people. So what did the people do? The people, what the people are about to do is about to get woke up. Okay, so in all this time, I've had time to think about more, and I'm watching things play out and stuff, and because I've been paying attention for a while, and so I kept on thinking, well, the solar flash everybody has to have the opportunity to wake up. That would make no sense to do the solar flash if people haven't even got to have the opportunity to wake up and to make the decision. But then is people live their lifestyles in their decision. So they have made a decision, but there still is so many people who haven't seen the truth or know the truth. So that is where there's still a darkness. So there still is something that they're not seeing. So it still seems like that everybody gets this chance to see and heal. And then, but I don't know, because there definitely is this splitting. Maybe this is already split. Maybe this is the split, and they've already gone in this other direction. And however things are going to play out, we'll see how they play out. But there's also the solar flash thing, and we are having all of these different, whatever they're called, those things where they say there's these solar flash things, like the sun's like pumping out these little energetic poof things, and so it keeps doing that. And to me, that is like it's in preparation, just like a volcano shaking up and getting ready to blow. So it's like it's coming. And to me, when I think about it doing that, that to me is when things flip into the other age. That's when we actually begin the other age. Because to me, this is still all of the lead up. This is still, gathering the characters that are going through to the other side. This is still the people who are, going through their experience to get the other side. I think everything is way longer. It's way longer than I thought. Like, man, back in 2016, like, I thought this shit was about to go down in 2017, 2018. Like, and now it's about to be 2025. And the other day when I said that about my anniversary date, it was 11/11/17. Because when I was saying 11/17, I was like, man, that is weird. Like, I was confusing me. I was like, okay, wait a minute. But no, it was 11/11, so I was already a week past it. And but the 11/11/17 was the date that this person, I saw them and they were talking. It was weird because I saw them talking, and it was like my soul heard them, and it was like they were talking directly to me. It was the weirdest thing. And then I just could not get it out of my mind that I had to talk to him. 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 And it's just been that with like my soul, this recognition to this other soul. And normally, my soul's not like rogue crazy. So I feel like, okay, there's a reason for this. But when stuff drags out so long, it's like, fuck, man. Like, this is weird. I've never had things drag out so long where I was seeing something so far ahead. And, well, I guess I have, because there was stuff that, it's always like, it would be the people in my life, choices that they would make, and I would see immediately where it was going. And sometimes, I tell somebody, usually people don't want to be told. And so, I would just sit back and watch, and I don't think I've been wrong. Like, but yeah, I guess I have seen really far ahead before. So, I don't know. It seems weird, like when you're looking at your own life. That is the one thing. It's always been kind of weird to me. Because I don't know. I'm just, to me, it's going to be such a relief to know the truth either way. Whatever goes, it's just is going to be like such a letting go of an energy that was like planted 11/11/17. And it's trippy is because then it ends up being that person's birthday is 1/17. Then when I go and this number comes up everywhere, all over the place. And then it'd be like stuff like that is like how I don't know, to me the things are there's not consequences. There's synchronicities. They're a reason. And when they're breadcrumbs, there's something leading you to something. So I don't know. It's weird too, as one of my kids, it's their address even. It's like, and she had just moved into this place. And I was like, when I saw the address, I was like, oh my God, that's the number I see all the fucking time. But I see a lot of the numbers are a communication all the time. Even like last night when I got up and I was tired. Fuck, I just keep being so tired when I keep getting woke up. And I don't remember what it was because I went in. I think I was oh yeah, because Stella wanted food, and there was some saltines sitting out. So I was like, "You want the saltines? Because we're out of treats." And so she was eating the saltines, making the biggest freaking mess. But when I looked over at the thing, it said 11/11, and so that is like a kiss back from this universe. It's like, oh, that's so sweet, So when you see these codes, you'll have a feeling about them. Like when you see something that says 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's like, oh, everything's going in sync. When you see something and it says, like, to me, there's a lot of pairing numbers too, or triple numbers. But when you see numbers and they just feel out of sync, it's messaging. So whatever you're thinking, you're not going in the right direction. Wherever you're going, something's out of sync. So when the numbers are coming up and they're showing you, giving you a feeling like, oh, that's weird. That's how. Then stop and communicate. And when you start seeing numbers in sync, in sync, in sync, in sync, and you keep seeing them, then it's you're going in the right direction. Everything is, it's like a communication when they or something else is like when they're giving you the same numbers or giving you a number that you read as a communication, and you're getting it over and over and over, and it's going good and you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden something happens and this other number pops up. then it can be like, oh, don't worry about that, or don't go in that direction, or whatever. That's where you have to read from your life journey, what's happening in your life. You have to read, what does that sign mean to you? What are you doing in life? What's going on? And so that's how I read them. And then there's a lot of other people who go in and start being like, this number means this, and this number means that, and all that. But to me, it is like, but who told you that? Like, because your guides will tell you, it's like, I don't know, it's like the same thing as any kind of language where they keep telling us. And I don't know, to me, you develop your own language with the other side. You develop your own communication. And so you decide what the numbers mean to you. And that's what they'll mean to you. And that's what they'll use them for. So it's you giving it. So you don't have to go. That's like a dependent on somebody else's thing. And so, I'm not going to go in and be like, oh, 431. That means they're telling me today to love myself or whatever. So I don't know. I have way too many numbers. There's way too many numbers. And that's the pattern that I have began to understand, is when things are certain numbers used for certain communication. And like if I'm being all like nervous and angsty or whatever, then there will be certain numbers that will come in. It's kind of like, stop it, just relax kind of numbers. And you can tell, like, you begin to read what it is they're saying. But I think some people get too caught up in trying to read what they're saying. So they go read what somebody else tells them that it means. And that's only going to distort your communication, I think. I think it's more better for you to, like you're doing something and a number pops up. Go with, what does that number make you feel? Because that's where you're setting it with them. So, again, it may be, that you get real excited. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, the number, they're communicating. And so then your excitement overrides. And then you're like, oh, you have to kind of get more, maybe it'll take a couple times. Because it is, when you start catching on that there's someone talking to you with the numbers and stuff, it is exciting. And so, that can get you as a distraction. So you may not really be able to tune into how it makes you feel, like what it was that you were thinking about and what the number, But once you put it out there to them of what that number means to you, then that's what they'll use that number for. Like 1111. That's how I know what they're meaning. It's about love. Like, oh, love, that's so sweet. Love you. Like, to me. And that is, but to somebody else, it may mean something different. So they could see 1111 and think something different. So everybody has their own, it's like your own developed language, your own developed communication with the other side. And you get to do it. You don't have to do it because, really think about it. Like, there's nobody coming down telling these people, this is what this word means. This is what this word means. This is just their interpretation. And we all have our own interpretation device inside of us. And if we're using somebody else's interpretation device, it distorts our interpretation device. And we have to become a lot more dependent on our own interpretation and our own, individuality, just like old fucking Dexter. Like, he's just out there just going to town. He is the cutest thing. You guys see him the whole way, like, with the Irish setter. He's just got that kind of, you think he'd be walking out with a pipe or something. But the way he just walks, and he just his whole life just going to town, and he just walks all over the place. Like, they take him out on a walk with a leash, and he's just walking like. I've seen him go down on his front leg and then kind of jump back up or something, or roll around. But it is so cute because these people are always videotaping him, because I guess they can hear him when he gets up in the morning. And so he's always coming down the hall, coming around into the kitchen in the early morning, just walking. It's just the cutest thing. But I think, it's kind of like, if he wouldn't have lost that arm, we wouldn't get that character. And I think that's what we got to get more into, is the development, what comes from the things that are the crises and stuff. But, that is exciting if we are going to have the med beds in April. Like, I've been really thinking about that, because And if it is going to be a bunch and it's just going to be easy to get into them, like if we're not going to have big long waits or something, like I really wonder how that's going to work. Because when you think about it, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of sick people. Like I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe it is. Maybe some of the people who are at the doctors and stuff with the C word, and like I saw. It kind of drives me crazy because there's so fucking many of these celebrities that got MS now. It's like, man, you got to get the fucking horse pay. You got to start taking care of your health in a different way. And they all just go to the doctors. They're all on canes. They're all like, so girls are so powerful. Look at them. They just, and it's like, oh my gosh. That's what I mean. Like, it's so powerful to just let your hair grow gray. Let your hair grow so powerful. The opposite. The two pyramids, it's the opposite one. It's the opposite of what you think it is. And but this one was Kelly, what is her name? She was off of that show, Ted Bundy, not Ted Bundy. Was it Ted Bundy? Was that guy? The Bundys? What was that guy's name? And maybe his name is Ed or something. The Bundys with that show she was on when she was a kid. And then she was in some movies and stuff. I think she's, I don't even know what show she's been on, the last show that she's been on. Maybe she's been in some shows lately, but I don't know. Every time I see her now, she's walking with a cane. She's got help walking. And now it's something was saying, that she's completing her bucket list because she's preparing for her death or something. It's like, dude, you're like 50 something. Like, they've got these people so fucking, oh my Jesus Christ. But you see how people direct it themselves. And maybe it is like if your whole life is Hollywood and then all of a sudden you are sick and, can't go to the parties, and it's like, well, my life's over, so may as well just do myself in. I'm heading to Norway or Sweden or wherever the hell, Canada. But the one, what was that? Yeah. Because the machine, was it the one in Norway or was it in Canada? I can't remember. One of those death machines that somebody, was it American? Because there was a whole thing about some American, I don't know, there's so much weird stories all the time. But somebody went over there to use it and to be done in for. And so apparently, though, the body is, so, yeah, I don't know. I said the whole motherfucking time, there is no fucking way that those machines could, it's impossible. Like when you have worked as a nurse and you have gone and seen people who have write themselves out and they are walking around, then it is, they've blown their whole motherfucking face off and they are walking around. It's like, that is not a for sure thing. There is people who try it all the motherfucking time and it's not a for sure thing. And then when you have also have the understanding of your spiritual is that you have an entry and an exit date, and that's it. The date's set. The day you enter, the exit date is set. It's not if I cross the street in front of cars, I might get hit. No, you're going to get, if you get hit and it's not your day to go, it's because there's a lesson, because you're cocky and you think you can walk in front of cars or something. Like, I don't know. Everybody's got their own lessons. Or their own things to push them back on track or get them on direction. But yeah, you can't get out before your time. You can't leave. And the people, that's what I've said all along. The people who take themselves out, who actually exit, that was always their exit. It's not, like where I grew up, we were told if you did yourself in, you were going to hell. That was just a for sure thing. It's too bad, too sad. And, a lot of us have family members and stuff who did themselves in. And so but that's what they always were saying. And then all of a sudden, they flipped the script, and now it's like, if you're poor, if you don't have money, or you're sickly, just go ahead and do yourself in. But to me, it was all leading up with the euthanasia with the dogs and stuff, and now that's just blown up and gone completely insane, where people are just out there I just doing in Healthy Pets, just nonstop, just doing in, it's like absolute insanity. But so um, the, so the people who do themselves in, who actually finish the job, that was always the way they were going to go. And then when people are like, well, why? That was so hard on me. That's why. That's why, because it's a part of your lessons. It's a part of the things that are hard on you. Is why it happens, so that you can learn and grow. Where people are like, why would God do this to me? Why? So that you could go through this experience. Why did you do it to yourself? God didn't do it. God is all of us together, and I don't have anything to do with it. So you did this to yourself. You made these choices. This was you and your guides. Go talk to them about it. Is when you come in, when all these people have these lives that are so difficult and so hard, and then they think like God did it, God's out to get me and stuff. It's like, nope. And so what was I saying? So God and the people, so the so easy to get off of the thing. And then plus, when like all things like lead to all things, it's so trippy. You go out and then you go out here and it's like, well, where was I? So the energy's just fucking heavy. The energy's fucking dark here, I'll tell you that. And it's been so dark, and it did start snowing, and we have a cyclone, and the weather sucks. And I'm going to go try and get a turkey today and figure out how to cook it. Oh, maybe I'll just put it over the open fire, just cook it right in there, roast it in the house. That would be a mess. But I do need to get the chimney cleaned. And I did ask the neighbor, because there's a chimney sweep guy who goes around, and it's $200. And I did ask her, but I think I got his name. Now I have to look. But it was just like right after that, right after I got his name, then my son-in-law said, I'm coming. And I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta get that money together. And now I still, I got to send him more money. And they haven't even started pulling the money out on Archie yet. I've got that hanging over me. And the fucking wood guy brought all that wood out and left me with that fucking bill. And it's like, oh my God. And but I felt, I'm like looking at all these different things I gotta pay. And it's motherfucking Christmas. And my family still is into that. And when I'm looking at all that money thing though, and I was like, yeah, but I did come up with like $4,400 in 6 weeks to get that explant. Because I think it was like 6 weeks, or it could have been 7 or 8 weeks, but I think it was quick. I was like 3 paychecks, I think. It was like I took every fucking bit of it I could and got it. So I know everything will be fine. It just is always like when there starts being like, oh man, I owe this, and this. But that was not what I was talking about. I was talking about the people and the energy and the polarity, the negative, the seeing it backwards. Everybody sees everything so backwards and upside down. And, but it's like the stuff's out there, but it's like a limitation that keeps people from looking. Like people don't look outside the box. It's like, it's so much of like the village. There's so much of a mind trap on people. There's a monster out there. Well, I'm not going to go out and look. There's a monster out there. I do that though about the woods. Like, I don't want to fucking go out. I know there's monsters out there. Fuck that. But I have, I'll go out in the middle of the night in the dark and go get a piece of wood or whatever. I go stand out with the dogs. And there is some haunting noises lately. Fuck. And like I said, I don't know if it's something in the woods or if it's just the way the sound is carrying lately, because the sound is traveling so weird. And over here where I'm at, we have had a lot of, I would say it sounds like military or something going over us a lot. So I think there is a lot of activity with that, which I really hope that this fucking blue battle is some bullshit. Like, we're not going to really battle to try and stay separate. Like, fuck, get the fuck out of here. And another thing too with there's all of these videos and stuff where people are showing they're bringing in all these tanks and setting up all these camps and all this stuff. But I was thinking, but what if we look at it from the other thing? What if we look at it as they're not setting up to go against us? What if we look at it as like the commander-in-chief who is over the military is on our side? And what if that is the military coming in to take a stance against the corporation? Because we should have done it in 2020, and everybody just sat back. But everybody sat back because this stuff had to play out. People had to see. And Donald said that over and over. You can't tell them, you have to show them. And they had to have all this stuff play out. And even as this stuff's played out, you can still see how people are resistant to information. This programming is it's such a mind control, and the ability to be able to look out of the box is important, but it is so it's not even like the people's minds go to the edge and then pull back. I think they don't even see that there's something up there to look out of. It's like people are so trapped in this reality. And yeah, as now I have other people popping into my mind over the aging thing, and how many of these people have all been a part of this system and this aging and this and to come back from that. And I know that the med beds are going to help, but they will take you back 25 years. That's what I've always heard. That's what Corey Goode has said and stuff. Your cells go back like 25 years. It doesn't take you 25 years back in time. It takes your body back 25 years. So all the damage of 25 years reverses. And, but so to me, the people who have been doing the reversal, taking care of themselves and reversing themselves, they'll have really good results. Like I bet you that there are going to be people, I bet you go in that med bed that are going to be older, are going to come out looking really young and really fit because they've been taking care of themselves. And like my mom, I bet you she's going to come out like, because I haven't seen her hair lately, but I bet it's very much darker. I bet, or yeah, darker. Yeah, it's going from light to dark. That's weird because we're going from dark to light, but our hair is going from light to dark. And, but that is that thing is, so, but there will be some people who will like be a huge jump in how they will look. But then I think there will be some other people who will, still look older because they haven't been taking care of themselves, but it will heal like a lot of their health issues. So they'll do their health issues, but I think that they're going to have to do a lot of the turning themselves around. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll go into those and they'll be like 100% new and their hair won't be gray anymore or anything. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Before, like when because before, I guess, the people who use those would be the 20 and back. Like if you listen to Corey Goode, he said it was called the 20 and back. And it was the same thing was that where they were looking for the kids, doing the test. Then when they found them, he said that they started taking them to the special class for the gifted kids and started taking them in there. And they would have to read these things. They would do a lot of things on something that they didn't have at the time. We didn't have iPads back when Corey Goode was a kid. So it was something that they had never seen before. And it's like, also it reminds me of Looking Glass. And so I think there's going to be a lot of, with our technology, I think the phones are kind of just like an implication of where we're headed. And so because they had these things way back, and I don't remember all the stuff. You'd have to go listen all his stuff. He's so interesting. And, but they would have to go and, he was good with being able to do the telepathy and translate what it was they were saying. So they would take him and make him work a lot. And then time is differently. So time would go different than here or something. And so they would have to go into this thing to reverse their aging. I don't remember if they aged faster there or we were going and they were going slower. I don't remember. You'd have to go listen to him. But it was some kind of reversing aging thing. And so he would go into that, and he said, you're only supposed to do it like 3 times or 2 times, but they did him in it one time too many.
And which that's the kind of corrupt things that they do. Like they don't care. And so he went into it and had his thing reversed more times than supposedly you're supposed to, or he's done it the most of other. But I mean, they've probably done more people now, more, because once they do it, they just keep doing it. So there's probably some guys who've had their time reversed 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know. And but I think he had a family. He wanted to go home and stuff. He was like, he didn't want to do that, but they like force you or something. So I'm so glad I did not get caught by them, man. But so he said that, and when he went into it, he said it was like overnight, like you had to stay for a while and then it resets all of your stuff and then you come out like feeling young again. And, so anyways, that is up ahead. He talks a lot about those when you go and listen to his stuff. And if you're trying to find him, I would think, well, I think he has stuff online. Like I think he has YouTube, but I don't know how in depth. But it used to be David Wilcock and Corey Goodward together. They did videos together all the time. And even back in 2020 and stuff, they were going live together. There was something that happened. I'm not sure what happened, but it seemed like it was when Laura Eisenhower got involved too. Because all of a sudden, like things were building up with the ufology when there was all these people awakening, going spiritual and stuff. So there was more people getting more involved, I think. And then, Laura Eisenhower came out, joined in with them. And I don't know if it was at conferences, because there's always these conferences. And I don't know if it was a development of a conference. There was these ones in Colorado, if they were putting them together. I don't know. There seemed like there was some kind of falling out. And so now you don't see Corey Good and David Wilcock. David Wilcock is kind of even on his own. He's there for a while. He was even married, where it was like, okay, well, they're both married. Corey's over and doing his thing, and David doing his thing. But then it was now David just goes live and no Corey or anything. But on Gaia channel, the show Cosmic Disclosure, it has a lot of good stuff on it. But if you go way back, I think that you should be able to find it, because they may have taken all those off. But David used to be the one who was on it. He used to be the one who was asking questions, and I think that is when he put Corey on it. So if you can find those old episodes, but I had heard also that there was some kind of falling out with some kind of production or something, and I don't know what all the story is. So whatever drama that went on with all them, but so I don't know for sure how you can find all Corey Good stuff, but I know that there's stuff out there, and he's super interesting to listen to. He has a lot of interesting things. He's been into Inner Earth. He's had lots of interactions with other beings and stuff. And to me, there's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to fear. I mean, we've faced the biggest monsters, I think. These shape-shifting vamp, reptile, whatever the fuck these people are. These creatures from somewhere else. But there's so many. It's so funny because I just feel like there's just so many. For humans to think like aliens are monsters and stuff. It's like I think that they're living all around us. What you consider to be aliens, people from other worlds and stuff, that they are from other worlds. And I think that that is going to be a part of the disclosure or something. And I don't know, I would be curious to see, as I keep seeing things that are popping up saying certain things, where it's like, man, I just feel like that this is coming. But because some humans, like I would say, some of us, we're more lab created or something. And so there's a lot of different DNAs. And I think that there's something weird about whether they were tracking stuff with their tests and whatever. But there's other groups that I think don't have a whole bunch, that they are going to be more of a hybrid DNA of one certain being, like one certain planet or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I don't think every single person is like, we're all gonna, there's gonna be some differences. And it's funny because, when I was a kid, I noticed the differences. And I would ask the teachers and stuff, Like, I think a lot of us, like, I was going to school, it was half black kids, like, not half black kids, but our school was half black because they did the desegregation. And so they mixed the schools. And so we went to school and was half black, half white. And so, I mean, right away, you could see like there's differences. Our hair is different, our skin's different. Their skin is a lot more oilier. Like, there's a lot of things that are just different. And we're living in the same place. And then when you ask, they start telling you, oh, it has to do with the equator, has to do with all this stuff. Whereas, like, what? Then how is it we are living right here together? You know, where all this is so different. And but it's gonna end up being is because like there really is differences. Some of us are lab created, some of us are earthlings, some of us are heavy on a bunch of DNA, some of us are stricter DNAs. Like, there's gonna be a lot of different things, I think, as we are first contact or disclosure or whatever it is, that when we start to see the truth, when we begin to find out our true history of what we are and who we are and stuff. In any of the people, you know, you know, back from the orphan drains or whatever, any of the ones that are lab created, that doesn't mean that you're soulless and stuff. Like, an energy picks, you know, like, and obviously these, containers are just as good as any of the other containers. Like, they're all just a spacesuit. And that was something too that I couldn't understand at all when I was younger, where people thought that people were different over the color of their skin. And I was constantly saying, that doesn't make any difference. You could be born in any body. Like, what does that matter? And it's like people literally thought that people are different, just like they think that dogs are different. Like, it's like, I think you need to go back to Soul 101 class or something. Like, try and start learning about what a soul is, what an energy is, and how the universe works. Like, there's a lot of stuff for people to start learning about that have been, you know, hidden from them. The truth is out there. And it's just so weird because the truth is so, like, it's not scary. And people are so scared, but but it's not scary, but they're scared of it. But it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, yeah, I guess it's like the village being so scared to go outside because the monster's out there. But then once you go outside, then you see like, oh, there's not really a monster out there. It's like the fear is created within, just like the call is coming from within. It's all within. And it's how you are, you know, what control you have and what control they have over what's up in here. And the noggin. So anyways, so anyways, what are we doing here? Okay, let me think if I've literally not been going on TikTok at all because I've been so busy. Like, I can't even fucking believe how hard it is to clean tiles. Oh my God, it's so like, and you're scrubbing. And then this toxic ass chemical I have to clean it. Like, I'm not gonna, and when it hits onto you and it fucking burns, it's like, fuck, I don't want it to get my eyes. That's freaking me out. I think today I'm gonna go with the boron or Bonami. That's what it is, Bonami. And try and clean them. And now I'm like, fuck, do I really want to do that? Like, there's the thing to do the grout repair and then to squirt that in there is like, oh my gosh, I don't know, because it kind of looks like good just having it really clean. Like, just that looks really good. Like, before, I can't believe I thought all of that was just like the messy grout. I thought they just did the grout really messy. And now it's like, no, the mess was like plaque on your teeth or something. It's like the plaque that built up, and trying to get it off is like a bitch, man. Like, I don't, yeah, like, tiles, I guess, kind of weird. Like, why would we put something so hard to clean in the bathroom? Maybe there's something easier to clean of it. We shouldn't have to be using these toxic ass chemicals for shit. So, I don't know. I, I just think that there's so much of our existence is just built up on weird, fake shit. It's not good for you. Um, I just saw this guy live though. I went on this morning because I was like, I'm just not even gonna look this morning. And then I was like, I'll go look real quick and just see. And I saw Dexter. I saw uh, the other lady, the Rescue the Dog, Love Heals. I saw there was one that Amy sent me. I'm trying. Oh, because that one is about the SAR. Yeah, and what's going on over there. That's just fucking disgusting, man. See how the corporation works. They just come in, and that's what's been going on this whole motherfucking time. And that is what, you know, New Zealand's screaming about, Hawaii's screaming about, the mountain people, and these people just go at them. And they're going after everybody. Like, it's not just going to be them. They want, all they want is just, all they want is that one fucking stream of blue that's headed that direction that supports them. That's what they want us all to be like that. So, and we can see what's happening with the energy. It's going heavier in the other direction. That's what's going to flip it upside down. It's flipping it. Because they want us to go that way, and we're going that way. And then, you know, Santa over here with the red tie, he's the one who's bringing all of the gifts, like, no more poison, free land. And he even has said, like, how the government is buying up all this, has bought up all the, they don't even buy it. Like, who the fuck are they buying it from? They just go out and put a stake in it and say, this is ours, you can't have it. And it's so absurd that now, you know, he's going to be giving it back to who it should go to, the people who are here to live, so that we can live off the land, just like as we were meant to. And instead of living off of their fucking corporate teat that is fucking toxic and full of chemicals, it's like, fuck them. Yeah, him opening his big old Santa bag, and then it's going to put us into the BRICS thing. And then I can't even believe how many people come and tell me like I'm such an idiot or something, as I believe the Social Security is going up. I 100%, I don't give a shit how many people think it's idiotic. I 100% think we're going back on the gold. The dollar's going, the petrodollar, all that stuff is going. And it's going to be a huge part of society for what people have been willing to do for $1 all this time. And people, you know, what they're, the whole thing with the rents, the animal, like it all goes together. And so all of those things. And then, but that's the one level of the things that the people have to face. But we're going to go into free resources, free land, reduced cost on all the stuff. Everything is supposed to go back to the prices like in the 60s and 70s before they started all this inflation, you know, where cars and houses were really cheap. And you could buy a house for $6,000 and you could buy a car for $600. Like it was way different. Now you buy a car for $600, you're buying junk. And everything that they created has been junk. Everything, once they started inflating it, and everything had to do so much with no more made in the USA, having everything shifted to other countries, and then selling us all this stuff that falls apart all the time. No quality. And then people who want to do things and make things with a higher quality, that it's impossible for them to get ahead and get jobs and stuff. But now it's going to go the other direction. Now the energy is going to go more for that. The people who have all this stuff that they want to do, the energy is going to come in and move them forward. That's why it's the energy that you're putting out is going to come back. So if you've been putting that out, like, you know, whatever, to build up, especially building up communities and all that. And there's so much stuff going right now too with there's more nabbing and more of that, you know, traffic, traffic, traffic. There's so much traffic everywhere. And so that is to really draw in attention. And still, you have these blue people. It's so weird, too, because even Ivanka and Donald both come out and said, like, their whole thing is about to stop the traffic. And there's all of this misrepresentation over what he's saying about, and I knew that there was going to be, I knew there was something more to this thing with the, we're going to be clearing people out from whatever it's called, the people from other countries, and they say that they're going to be, my stomach's growling like crazy, that they're going to be clearing them out and moving them into back home, whatever it's called that he said, and then all these people started saying, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, and they're all so fucking scared of all this shit. But I knew that there's going to be something. There was something I had just seen, and I was like, oh, man, I just know that it's going to be something significant, something about citizenship, something about, like, there's going to be all these things that are going to keep coming to the surface. And I don't know if there's going to be a big call. I know on the drama side of it, where he's saying he's sending all these people back to Mexico. Now the Mexico president's saying, well, we're sending all of the your people back to you. It's like, yeah, but that's, I think, what it has to be because of the BRICS thing. But then it's going to be free to be able to go into other places or something. Like, maybe it's we have to go to our home bases to get the stuff. But then I don't know, I don't know how it's going to go. We just got to keep watching how it plays out. But I know that there's something more to this than just like we're going to round up the people that aren't from here. It's going to be more of like you're going to round up the criminals. I'm going to make sure that people who are over here trying to work and have families and stuff like that, the government has no right to be telling us. So there's going to be something about that. And there's more and more of a government overstep going on all the time. And it's like the clash of the titans, these two separations of these energies, and it's going to separate, going in the direction of people. And we have the right to fucking move freely. We have the right to live freely. We have the right to move freely. There's no reason for the government to be in our business at all. And so all things are going to keep going in those directions. And everything that keeps coming up is going to keep going towards in our favor, towards, if you favor freedom, if you favor independence. Some people, they favor government overstep. They feel more safe. Like, they think like leaving NATO and all this stuff, like, that's bad. It's like, no, those were the things that they got us into this problem to begin with. And so, anyways, we're going to go backwards in time, back to getting back on the gold standard, getting back to what's real. And so that's all going to be happening too. And it's funny because it is like going into the future, but going back in time, because so many things will be going back, like prices and stuff like that. So, anyways, to me, it seems like super exciting. And it's weird as I go through the day, and there's just so much of this energy, and I feel so tense, and I feel so much like drawn on, like everything is just like pulling all my energy out, and I just feel depleted and tired. So all the things, whatever you're feeling and everything, like, this is all real. Like, this is really all the energies of all the people. Like, it's not just a few people. Even the people who are asleep are very traumatized. Like, these people, the blue people, they're fucking trauma. So that energy is going somewhere, and it's hitting into all of us, and it's going out into the planet. See, this is the creation of the solar flash, as far as I'm concerned. This energy pulsation between the earth and the sun. And that is what's going to create this, it's like a polarizing flash or something. And that is where we're going to actually, I think that that's when we start going into the real age of Aquarius. And that is just how I see it. And I just is weird because I don't know how, because we are literally in the split. So, but, I mean, there's nobody who really knows all this stuff. I mean, even psychics and all, everybody's doing the same thing. They're trying to interpret information that is out there. And, we're talking to people who don't speak the same language as us, for one thing, and we're communicating multidimensionally. So it's very different. They use things, it's like they are it's like they are, what is that called? It's like what Melania is, where you can speak a whole bunch of different languages, because they can recognize what it is that we can interpret, so that they can show you something. And but there's multiple interpretations of things, and the way you look at things, because there was a lot of people who were interpreting, Kamala was going to win and stuff. Like, so it also, your biases and your own viewpoint has something to do with how you interpret things too. So it is, your own, what is that called? Your own perspective. You're going to see things through your own perspective. Man, my stomach's growling. I keep thinking about the food now. And then I hope there's some Danishes over there. When I go to the food bank this morning, I'm going to get some Danishes. I had gotten some muffins. There's always this Costco stuff, and then it's always like, oh man, it tastes so good, but I'm sure it's just full of fucking poison. And everything is just full of fucking poison. And I know that is so much to do with the sicknesses and the sicknesses that people are having. And I just can't say enough how important it is to be coughing the infiltrates out, whatever it is. If you don't have to smoke, you can get Mullen tea or something, but you got to be getting the infiltrates out, because we're just breathing them in, and that's what becomes pneumonia. Like, any kind of infiltrates, and that kill old people all the time. So they're making a stronger one too. It's taking down little kids and all sorts of stuff. So, and I don't know, I mean, at some point this is going to stop. At some point, I mean, RFK is not going to be saying, hey, we're going to take all the poison out of the food, but we're going to keep poisoning in the air. Like, it's all going to go in another direction. So even though whatever it is, and they may be not in all places, but I think it is basically in all places, that people are either getting it in the water, in the fires, in the air, somehow. And over here, it's definitely the mist and the fog. And so anyways, but the most important thing is what you're doing here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So talk to you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.